Let me introduce you to a concept I call dirty black. And before you get offended, please slow down. I'm describing an experience, not an identity. Dirty black is what happens when you've grown up your entire life with zero proximity to whiteness. And I mean zero. You've never been to a school with white people. You've never worked under a white boss. You've never had a white coworker. You've never used public transport with white passengers. And you've never navigated a system designed around white norms, white expectations, and white etiquette. For those that do not know me, my name is Timothy and I run a WhatsApp group for the Black diaspora, a place where we study the moves the world makes around us. Every day, we break down global shifts, political patterns, and the power plays shaping Black futures everywhere. We also host a Zoom meeting every last Friday of the month. Both links are in the bio. You've lived your whole life in Black spaces, which is normal, mind you, until suddenly you land in the diaspora, and for the very first time, you step into spaces where whiteness is the unspoken standard. That's when the shock hits. Nobody tells you this part. Assimilation is a skill, a trained skill, a learned behavior, and if you've never been exposed to whiteness, you don't know the rules of the game. Dirty black isn't about being unclean. It's about being unprepared. Unprepared for the invisible codes. Unprepared for the silent expectations. Unprepared for the professionalism standards designed without you in mind. Dirty black is when you speak too directly and they call it aggressive. You bring your real food to work and the room goes silent. You dress like home and suddenly HR wants to chat with you. You laugh too loud and people stiffen. You talk with your hands and someone flinches. Your accent becomes the topic of conversation instead of your qualifications. You ask a question normally and they hear threat. Dirty black is when you realize whiteness comes with a handbook and nobody ever gave you the manual. Because back home, you were normal. You were correct. You were polite. You were respectful. But in the diaspora, you're suddenly unrefined, unpolished, unprofessional, too much, not enough, all at the same time. And you have to start learning the things nobody told you you need to survive. How to code switch, how to flatten your personality in emails, how to remove rhythm from your walk, how to shrink your voice in meetings, how to translate your culture confidence into corporate compliance, how to avoid foods that smell like home, how to smile when you don't mean it, how to apologize for existing in a way that makes white people uncomfortable. It's exhausting because you're not just adjusting to a new country, you're adjusting to a new identity, one measured against whiteness. Africans who come directly from the village feel this the hardest because the gap is massive. At home, you are a whole adult. Here you're treated like a child who has to learn how the world works. And the irony? Your world was bigger, louder, richer, freer, more authentic than theirs. You just didn't know they expected you to erase it. So before I go, dirty black is not an insult. It's a diagnosis. It's what happens when you enter a system built to mistrain you, misunderstand you, mislabel you, before you even open your mouth. And the solution isn't to become less African. The solution is to become aware. Awareness gives you the choice. Code switch strategically, navigate intentionally, or refuse entirely. But whatever you do, let it be conscious, not forced, not ashamed, and definitely not apologetic. Because the real truth is this: whiteness isn't the standard, it's just the system. And systems can be learned, outsmarted, or dismantled. Let's move.